Hello, and welcome to Turing Test Fiction. We're here for one reason, to challenge you. Challenge you to tell the difference between human-written fiction and the AI-generated kind. I'm Nigel, your guide in this. Do you ever have dreams of people, strange, tall, slender people with brown skin and large golden eyes and 6 fingers, walking along canals under a dusty pink sky? No? Me neither. Anyway, tonight we have 2 more tales from the enigmatic red planet, Mars. One is crafted by human hands, and the other by the cold logic of an AI. But the only question that really matters is whether or not you can tell the difference. Let's find out, shall we? Story number 1, For Those Who Follow. My heart hammered a frantic rhythm against my ribs as I descended the Ares 3-lander. Mars, in all its rusty glory, stretched before me, an alien canvas of ochre dust and jagged rock formations. We were the very first humans to set foot on this desolate world. Except a nagging unease gnawed at the edges of my excitement. Commander Rees, ever the stoic leader, planted the UN flag ceremoniously. Dr. Sharma, our geologist, practically vibrated with scientific fervor as she collected the first Martian soil samples. I, however, drawn by an inexplicable pull, wandered further from the lander than protocol dictated. My boot crunched on the reddish dust, leaving the first human footprint on a foreign world. Then I saw it, a glint of metal half buried in a dust drift. Brushing away the fine particles, I revealed a small, polished sphere. Curiosity piqued, I knelt and examined it. The surface was cold and smooth, with an inscription etched into its side. For those who follow, it began, the letters alien yet somehow familiar. My breath hitched as I deciphered the rest. A series of coordinates and a single, chilling word. Beware. A tremor of dread ran down my spine. What mission had come before us? Classified one, perhaps? But why leave such a cryptic message, and who were they warning? Back at the lander, I presented my find to a stunned silence. Commander Rees frowned, his face creased with concern. Dr. Sharma's eyes widened in horror. These coordinates, she whispered, tracing them with shaking fingers. They lead to Olympus Mons. Olympus Mons, the largest volcano in the solar system, loomed on the horizon, a hulking silhouette against the dusky sky. Sending shivers down my spine, Dr. Sharma elaborated. It wasn't part of our landing zone. It was deemed too volatile. Unsettled, we huddled in the small cabin, the message casting a long shadow over our initial euphoria. The inscription, the coordinates, the word beware, it all screamed of a hidden mission gone wrong. There was no record of such a venture, though. We were officially pioneers. Commander Rees, ever the pragmatist, suggested we prioritize our designated tasks. But the message gnawed at me. A sense of impending danger hung heavy in the Martian air. Finally, I couldn't bear it any more. We have to investigate, I declared, surprising myself with my own boldness. It could be a trap, yes, but it could also be a warning. Knowledge we can't ignore. Dr. Sharma, her voice heavy with worry, agreed. Commander Rees, after a tense moment conceded. The next morning, with a mixture of trepidation and resolve, we piloted the rover towards Olympus Mons. The journey was arduous. Martian terrain, a landscape sculpted by ancient winds, was treacherous. Twice, we narrowly avoided plunging into deep chasms. Finally, after hours of relentless driving, the coordinates led us to a desolate plain at the foot of a volcano. There, half buried in the red sand, lay the wreckage of a spacecraft. Its design was unfamiliar, sleek and futuristic compared to our clunky Ares lander. My heart pounded. This wasn't supposed to exist. We were the first. With leaden steps, we approached the wreckage. The silence was oppressive, broken only by the hiss of our breathing. Cautiously, I peered through a gaping hole in the hull. The air inside was thin and metallic. Spotlights revealed empty seats, lifeless instruments, a chilling picture of a mission gone horribly wrong. Then, in the captain's chair, I saw it. A skeletal hand frozen in a final desperate grip on the control panel. Its long, slender fingers were unlike anything human. Terror, cold and primal, washed over me. We weren't alone. We weren't the first. The cryptic message, the warning, it all became horribly clear. We stumbled back to the rover, our initial bravado replaced by a chilling fear. The inscription on the sphere wasn't meant for us, for humanity. It was a warning to a different kind of visitor. The message intercepted by accident. As we sped away from the crashed vessel and the looming shadow of Mount Olympus Mons, I realized the true weight of our discovery. Mars wasn't just a barren wasteland. It held secrets. And some secrets were best left undisturbed. We had come seeking answers, but instead we had stumbled upon a truth so terrifying it could rewrite human history. Back at the lander, the message felt like a lead weight in my pocket. We reported our findings to Earth, a heavily censored version that omitted the alien skeleton. The response was swift and decisive. Our mission was abruptly cut short. Technical difficulties, they claimed. A convenient lie, but one we readily accepted. It's jarring, isn't it, to have your assumptions pulled out beneath you? Could an AI replicate the sickening fear of unearthing the unknown, of stumbling upon a skeletal hand clutching a control panel in a spaceship that shouldn't exist? Now, story 2. Seeking Life. Mission Control. This is Explorer 1. Current location 8.3 kilometers, 24 degrees from basecamp. Current time? I have no bloody idea. Status report. Same old, just more dirt. Sand? Particles? Whatever. How's things on the mothership? Explorer 1 looked around as he waited for his comms unit to reply. He stood atop a hill. A wide expanse of red and brown sped before and behind him. Scattered around were some rocks of sizes varying from small pebbles to boulders that dwarfed him. The sky glowed a dirty pink, the sun almost disappearing behind the horizon and casting long shadows across the barren wasteland. Through the thin atmosphere, the stars flickered and danced like fairies in the sky. A small moon is moving slowly but noticeably through the sky, cutting a path through the stars as if it were royalty. The astronaut paused, taking the view in for probably the 100th time. Yet time seemed not to matter in this alien world. The crackle of his comms unit brought him back to reality. Copy that, Explorer 1. Any signs of organic matter or unusual geological formations? Straight to the point, as usual. Any hope the astronaut had that Mission Control would make a conversational buddy were quickly dashed after his first few days on the red planet. Not yet, but I think I see a cave. I'll head over and check it out. I'll let you know if the boogie woogies get me. Understood. Proceed with caution. The radio fell silent. It was nearly pitch black now. The astronaut flicked on a switch on his biosuit, and it began to emit a soft glow with a stronger light beam focused in front of him. He bounced from hill to hill, landing softly on the soft sand, and began walking towards the cave. The cave was, well, a cave. The astronaut had seen many during his time on Mars, and most merely ended with a few feet, with the deepest being no more than half a mile. This one was the medium-sized one, enough to set up some devices, but not much else. The astronaut paced the cave a few times, not really noticing anything noteworthy. He'll have to come back with his equipment for a proper scan. Not that he'd had any success so far. Sighing to himself, he made for the entrance. He had been labeled Explorer 1, sent to a distant world to look for suitable places for habitation. Organic material, underground resources, stable weather conditions. So far, he had come up empty. Beginning as a sensation with his every update broadcast all over the homeworld, as he met with dud after dud. And now, the only person paying attention was Mission Control. So much for being a hero. Clang! The astronaut's shoulder pad brushed up against the walls of the cave, snapping him out of his thoughts. Shaking his head, he started making his way back to base camp. Hang on. Flang? That's not what rock sounds like. The astronaut turned around to see a chip in the wall. Something glinted at him, reflecting the beams of light from his suit. Turning down the brightness, he brushed away at the thick covering of the dust, slowly revealing what lay behind. A metal plate, perfectly rectangular. It was small, about the size of a ration pack, and thin like a leaf. There were some shapes on it, some twisted and some angular. His heart skipped a beat. What in the world was this? Steadying himself, he had suddenly felt a surge of vertigo. He pinged Mission Control. You have to see this. Sending over an image. Roger that, receiving. Immediately after, he began dashing about the cave like a madman, kicking at the floors and rubbing furiously at the walls. In his frenzy, he uncovered some carvings in the walls. The sun, the solar system, 9 planets, the homeworld. Just as he was about to take another picture, his comms buzzed to life. Explorer 1, the image you sent seems to match patterns from a metal object found near planet 7. Transmitting possible translation. Large words flashed on the astronaut's visor. First Terrain Expedition 2054, Earth Council. We are currently tracing the original trajectory of the object. Proceed with... No need, the astronaut interrupted. Clarify, Explorer 1. Explorer 1 stared at the carvings. The third planet from the sun was marked in a circle. He turned towards the entrance of the cave, where a bluish glow sparkled in the distant night sky. He pressed a tentacle against the comms unit on his middle antenna. I've found the next target. Prepare the fleet. It's funny, isn't it? We just can't seem to escape questions of identity, can we? But of course, we know who we are, right? We're human. Of course. But let's leave that aside. Now it's time to put your instincts to the test. Which story, For Those Who Follow or Seeking Life, was penned by a human, and which one generated from a matrix of numbers inside a virtual mind. Please pause the video now and cast your prediction in the comments below. We want to know which one you think was written by a person and which one was written by a machine. And while you're at it, give us a like to let YouTube know that we're here, exploring the boundaries of the future and fiction. There. Now for the reveal. Are you ready? Story number 1, For Those Who Follow, was written by an AI. Specifically, it was written by Google's Gemini Pro 1.5. The eerie message, the coordinates to Olympus Mons, the unsettling skeletal hand, it all sprang from a large language model. Surprised? Story 2, Seeking Life, with its alien explorer and enigmatic carvings, was generated by a talented writer who goes by the name of Tofuman. They frequent the WritingPrompts subreddits on Reddit and are well worth following there. Absolutely check them out. So, did you get it right? Or were the lines between human and machine creativity a bit too hazy to distinguish? But that's one reason we're here, isn't it? To get better at distinguishing organic from synthetic stories. This isn't entertainment. This is training. I just wish I had more confidence that we could keep up. Please join us on this strange journey by hitting subscribe, or even better, contribute your own story. Check the video notes below for our next prompt and send your submission to turingtestfiction@gmail.com. One writer will be featured in our next episode. Their story brought to light through AI-generated illustrations and put side by side with an AI-generated story on the same prompt. Thank you, again, for joining us on this journey into the unknown. Let's hope we can find our way back.